Welcome to Wednesday. It's the 16th day of March 2022. Your Day Weather Podcast is being brought to you exclusively by Cowboy State Daily, Wyoming's news authority. Visit them at cowboystatedaily.com and on their Facebook page. Lots on the table, folks, as the weather pattern, which has been very spring-like and very mild here over the last couple of days and actually really nice for many areas, is going to change back to some colder and unsettled weather. And we've got a lot on the table, not only with this next system coming on in, but another one late in the weekend and early next week. So trending colder. After a nice mild start to the week, rain and snow is coming for some of you. We have a disorganized storm system with areas of rain and snow developing over the next 48 hours. There's many areas of the western United States that'll have some areas of rain and snow, but it's going to be in patches. The only area that's going to really be organized is across parts of central Colorado, where there's going to be some pretty good, nice, wet spring snow and areas of rain and snow that will be good for many areas, especially of eastern Colorado, but some front range areas as well. Surrounding states will have chances of showers, but the most concentrated precipitation is going to be Colorado. Another storm system, we're still watching it, arrives late in the weekend and early next week. Now, we're starting to see some better model agreement. However, we're not there yet. We got a lot of things to figure out. One thing we're pretty confident of is that we're going to have a pretty significant storm somewhere in the high plains and Rockies late in the weekend and early next week. But the placement of the storm is going to dictate the heaviest precipitation, and the placement of the storm is still very much up in the air, so stay tuned. But if we do see the system come together, there could be some very beneficial precipitation to some of the winter wheat areas of Colorado, Nebraska, southeast Wyoming, parts of Kansas. There could be some really badly needed precipitation for some of the central high plains coming with this system. There will be some snow with it as well, and some of it could be heavy. And we'll have the next few days here to figure things out. So we want to give a heads up to stock growers and travelers that we've got two systems, one coming through the next couple of days and another one late in the weekend and early next week. And you know what? There's another storm system that could arrive late next week. And the weather pattern next week and beyond through the end of March looks colder and unsettled. Now, the ultimate pattern change that is coming with this could be good because of the needed precipitation both on the plains and in the mountains. Today's satellite photo shows the cloudiness here across the Great Basin back into the Pacific Northwest with this disorganized area of low pressure. It's going to be a rather slow mover. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, it's going to trend like this, with the most organized piece of the storm ending up down here and a weaker area of low pressure up here. So the pattern is going to get stretched out and the energy stretched out a little bit, but there's going to be a concentration right here of some good precipitation developing tonight, tomorrow night, and into early Friday. And you can see it with the upper level chart showing this trough coming on into the west. Doesn't look like much, but systems this time of year carry with it a lot of instability and a lot of moisture. So there's some real promise here for some better precipitation. There we have over the Texas Panhandle, the low by Thursday noon being more organized, bringing that counterclockwise upslope flow to Denver, the front range of Colorado, down into Colorado Springs and along the Palmer Divide, and also going to bring areas of rain and snow into areas of western Kansas, parts of eastern Colorado before heading into the Corn Belt. As we go forward, we see the precipitation has prompted the National Weather Service to issue winter storm watches and winter storm warnings for parts of Colorado. The purple indicates a winter weather advisory. The pink indicates the winter storm warnings. And you can see it's the higher terrain because this is going to be a rain, then changing the snow situation, but Boulder to west of Denver to Castle Rock. So Colorado folks, watch out for this system. It's needed though. This is going to bring needed precipitation. And here it is. This is the precipitation if it fell all as rain forecasted by the European model through Friday morning. And you can see this bullseye of yellow and blue here right across central and northwest areas of Colorado, focusing in on that area there. But there's green elsewhere here, and there's going to be snow in the high country of Wyoming, some rain and snow in the plains of Wyoming back into the Wasatch Front of Utah, some rain here in far eastern Colorado, western Kansas, which is really needed, and a little bit of a disorganized area of precipitation up here in the Pacific Northwest and into the northern Rockies. This is what the snowfall forecast looks like with the bullseye again, focused right on the Palmer Divide, up to Boulder, to west to Denver, down to Castle Rock, down to Colorado Springs, all the way down to Trinidad, with lighter snow amounts elsewhere. This is what it looks like if we zoom in a little bit closer, and you can see a little bit more detail here. Find your counties in southeastern Wyoming and central Colorado. You can see where the better moisture is going to fall with this system. Temperatures are going to be pretty chilly as well. After a really mild start to the week, we're going to have a patch underneath that low and where the snow is going to be, where temperatures are going to get pretty chilly again here to end the week. So there's going to be some slick roads and highways and interstates and mountain passes. As we go forward, here we go, taking a look at what's going to happen or could happen with the next storm system. What I'm showing you is where the storm is going to be here by Sunday morning. And what we have is a digging trough. Digging meaning it's coming out of the Gulf of Alaska and digging towards the Great Basin headed south. So by Sunday morning, we have an upper level low over Oregon and Washington diving very quickly south, headed down into the Four Corners area. Now this always is a tricky proposition with these storm systems this time of year because they can sometimes cover a lot of latitude, going from Alaska all the way down into the desert Southwest. I mean, this is a big track south. And if these systems go far enough south, well, they drag the precipitation and other areas more into the southern plains, which is very, very dry and really needs the precipitation. But at the same time, it could cause this area to miss out on any of the significant weather. That's why the placement of the storm is so important. So this is by Sunday morning. The system is digging into the Great Basin, headed towards the desert Southwest. Now I'm going to show you, and if you look up here in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, I'm going to show you 4 different computer models that we look at to try to get a handle on how the weather should evolve. The GFS, the American model, by Monday morning. All of these I'm going to show you are by Monday morning. The GFS has a very impressive low over northeastern New Mexico by Monday morning. If that happens, well, we'll see low pressure coming into the Great Basin, spreading rain and snow into the Intermountain West, and then as it gets better organized, the Gulf of Mexico is open for business, meaning we're going to get a southeast wind flow into the low due to the counterclockwise spin is going to be able to bring in Gulf of Mexico moisture. And if it does, this would be a very impressive rain and snow event right here as it develops. As we take a look now at the European model, look at the difference here. The European model is 2 things different with it. Number one, it's slower, and the energy is more directed south along the New Mexico-Arizona border here. So the European would be slower to evolve, and it would also drag the heavier precipitation more into this area here as opposed to areas further north. The Canadian model is kind of a hybrid of the European and the GFS model. It's more back over Tucson and Phoenix here, and the low is also slower, but it also is opening up the Gulf and helping to draw that moisture northwestward. Taking a look at the model out of Japan, the Japanese Meteorological Agency is showing the low right on the Four Corners, and if that happens, well, that directs the storm to be more directed up here and be more directed to the northern areas, more into Wyoming, more into Nebraska, South Dakota, and less into Colorado. Which one of these solutions will be true? One of these might be dead on. It might be a combination of these 4, or none of these could get it right. So we have several days to figure things out. But there's one thing definitely showing up here. All of them are showing a potent, moist, typical March storm coming together late Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. But the devil's in the details. Now, if we were just to look to see if the GFS or if the American model is correct, you could see some very impressive precipitation for eastern Colorado, western Kansas, southeastern Wyoming, Nebraska, down into the panhandles here, lesser amounts the further north. So it'll be really interesting to see where this will be the axis right here of the heaviest precipitation. It could end up right here. It could end up right here. It could end up right here. So we're getting a little bit more focused on a geographic standpoint of where we think the heavier moisture is going to be. But you could miss out completely up here. You could be in the bullseye here, or it could end up down here, depending on the placement of the low. But thankfully, it's several days out, and we've got a few days to figure things out. Going out further, This is for Thursday, March 24th. Another low dives into the Rockies. Cold air from Canada is possible to come in with this system. So after the storm leaves, it could be followed by another one by the end of next week. So there's a lot on the table. We see three significant events. The one coming here over the next 48 hours, the stronger one Sunday night, Monday, and then the next one following behind it around Thursday and Friday of next week. So lots on the table, lots to watch for, stock growers and travelers. Despite the nice spring-like start to the week, things are going to get busy again. Have yourself a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.